Welcome back for another episode of FPV Battles. Today we're going to be looking at cheap ND filter alternatives. We're going to be looking at the Telson ND filters versus the TBS Jello Guard filters. So let's say the vast majority of people are using or have used some kind of ND filter these days, whether it be a stick-on filter on your GoPro Hero Session or some kind of filter like this inside of a 3D printed mount. So the filters I want to talk about and compare today are the ones that I've been using most recently on my GoPro Hero 7. First we have the Telson 3-pack here with an ND4, 8, and 16. These filters just slide right over top of the existing lens. You don't have to take the lens on or off or anything like that. And they're going to give you that nice motion blur and most importantly allow you to lock in your exposure settings. So that way your GoPro can get the best, smoothest footage possible. Also compare them to the TBS Jello Guards, which have been around for years but have had a recent resurgence about maybe a year ago, and they've came out in all different flavors now. I'm running an ND4, 8, and 16, and I have them inside the 3D printed mounts that you've seen. They're definitely a nice higher quality of glass compared to like what is in the Telsons, but we'll get into that later. They run about $5 a piece. By the way, there's a lot of different people that are making these knockoff replacement filters. These are meant to be replacements for the more expensive Polar Pro Cinema series. So your GoPro lens actually will screw off and you can screw one of these on. But as you can see by different reviews, including one posted by yours truly, you can see the edges, they just don't fit right when you're in super view. They just don't look good. They were okay in wide and in linear, but definitely save your money. Don't go with those. If you're going to get something, to go with the actual Polar Pros. So now that we have a baseline as far as what we're going to be talking about, let's take a look at some flight footage here and look at the pros and cons over each of these filters. So the first set of filters we're going to look at is the Telsons, and immediately you can see that there is some kind of vignetting down in the bottom right hand corner, and it has nothing to do with my mount. I've tried these filter set on a couple different quads, and the mount they all fit perfectly snug. So I'm not sure, some kind of internal reflection. It's apparent most of the time, bright light and in cloudy day, as you'll see next. So that's kind of a downside, but you know, the filters are cheap and they're super easy to use. You don't need a 3D printer or anything like that. The one thing about them is that I don't think they are as aggressive. Like a 16 is not actually a 16. It's kind of more like an 8 or a 12. Now we're going to look at the image through the TBS Jello Guard. Now the Jello Guards, if you have a 3D printer and you're willing to spend maybe a few more bucks, because they do tend to break kind of easy. You can even break them, put in and out of these filter holders. But they produce just a way better overall image. The clarity is a lot better. The colors are more defined, yet you still get the good amount of motion blur and everything else that you want. All of my videos that you see here, pretty much I have the GoPro locked at 1/120th because I like to shoot at 60 frames per second, so that way I could slow down if I want to. You can see that don't have hardly any, you can't notice the transition between light and dark. Everything looks good. Down in the right hand corner there is my motor. That's from one of the ships that I fly. But other than that, you have a really great image from corner to corner that you shouldn't have any problems working with at all, and you can color grade like nobody's business. So that's a pretty good comparison, I think. Just quick and short to the point. I definitely prefer the TBS ones. I keep the Telesons on hand just in case I need to. Careful thing with these is that if you do crash, that these things do tend to pop off and get lost. Nothing like that. That's kind of where the more higher end replacement lens ones like the Polar Pros come into play, but you're looking at like $100 for a set of 3. And those are the ones that Gab and Jet and all the professionals use. So if you got deep pockets and you want the best looking footage you're going to get, you're going to have to get a set of those. Anyway, guys, thanks for stopping by. Hope you guys like what I'm doing. If you do enjoy it, you can always send me a tip with the paypal.me link, or you could always pick something up off the Amazon affiliate links below. Thanks a lot, and we'll see you later.